Hi guys, it's Miss Wood. I am at back to school night right now, and Maya and Isaac are going to take over for us. This is being recorded, remember. So one, you are in school, so you need to stay appropriate for school. Two, you need to make sure that you are appropriate with your texting on the chat room. And three, you need to make sure that you are asking the questions appropriately in the Google Doc or in the chat room as well. Lastly, before I get back to school night and Maya takes over for me, please make sure that you are updating the student edited CP 1718 form. It is an Excel or a Google spreadsheet document. I need to know where you guys are and if you are going to be taking this class pass fail. So if you go to the link at the very top of the chat room, there are two different links that you need to look at. The first one is the Google Doc, that is the GoToMeeting doc, where you can ask questions and Maya can kind of keep control of what's going on in there. And the second one is the Google slide sheet that you can take care of. Okay? All right, have fun. Happy chatting.
Thanks. Okay, so I guess with that, I'll get started. So can everyone hear me okay? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay,
We can
perfect.
hear you,
Yeah,
Maya.
so thanks, Isaac. I appreciate that. So yeah, when I ask questions, just so it's not all chaos, just respond in the chat. That's awesome. So I guess a little bit of an intro as to what tonight is. We're going to be doing Isaac and I are going to be doing a question and answer thing, but also an intro to Cyber Patriots. So we're going to go over some expectations, like rules and protocols, what exactly the club is, and all that sort of fun stuff. So with that, I think I'll just get right into it. First off, we have an awesome board this year, so I guess I'll introduce them because I don't think anyone, maybe including themselves, know who they are. So I'm president. You've probably seen me around. Isaac Chung is vice president. Justin Cho is our treasurer. Melina Imamura is in charge of all of our cyber activities. Leon Jang is in charge of team relations. Diane Kim and Chloe Bush are in charge of all of our press. Erin Martinez does our middle school outreach, and then Yuli Ra does our elementary school outreach. So if you have any questions or need someone to talk to you
You
about any
forgot
of those
Hannah.
areas. Oh, sorry, Hannah. I love you. So if you need to talk to people in any of those areas, that's who to go to. So with that, a little bit about expectations. So after school on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, or Fridays, you have to pick a time to go. So you can go from 3 to 4, any one of those days, go with your team, and that's how you're going to get class credit. Also, thank you all for being here today because this is part of the class. So every Wednesday at 7, we're going to have these GoToMeeting things, and these are super important because usually I'm not going to be leading them. Usually some of our Northrop Grumman mentors are, and they know a lot of stuff and are here to help us, and they take time out of their day to do these for us, so it's super important that you guys show up. Also kind of along those lines, everyone, if you haven't gotten your commitment sheet, that's super duper important, so get those in as soon as possible. Preferably hard deadline is Friday. And then also club day, we're going to be hitting them out, so if you have people you want to join, or people who would think this was fun, or even people who you think wouldn't think it was fun and just kind of want them to try it out, tell them to head over to our table or we're going to be selling water on Friday, so it should all be some good fun. And yeah, I think that's about it as far as kind of what Cyber Patriots is. Old members, if you want to put in the chat anything I missed, please feel free to do so. The other thing that's super important is our Google Drive. So I know Melina is doing an excellent job of putting in these links, but we put everyone in a Google Drive, which will have all of our resources, our checklists, some virtual machines, all of our notes, that sort of thing. So if you are not in that Google Drive, can you please enter your email into the chat box, and then Isaac will add you to it. And that is that. I think, a little bit about how comps work, because I think people don't really know. competitions are 6 hours, which sounds like a lot of time, but it's really not. So we basically are on Fridays in M2 or M3 or M1. We have so many kids this year, we're going to take up 3 rooms, which is super duper exciting. And you're basically, there's snacks and fun, and you are competing on these virtual machines, which if you're coming into the classroom, are what we've been playing with thus far. And you're just trying to hack and trying to get as many points as possible. So does anyone have any questions about that kind of stuff before we get into the more technical questions? You guys can respond in the chat if you have questions or anything, just so you know. No for Chris. Okay, cool. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so with that, since everyone's in the Google Drive or should be in the Google Drive, and again, if you're not, just throw your email into the chat and Isaac will add you. There is a folder called Weekly Meeting, and in that folder, there's a doc called Questions 927. Okay, so in that, what you guys want to do is just start asking questions. So no question is too dumb, no question is too technical, nothing is too easy, nothing's too hard. Just whatever questions you may have, and then either I will answer them, or Isaac will answer them, or one of the older members will answer them. And yeah, just any question you have about Cyber Patriots, cybersecurity, what any board member does, who anyone is, all that sort of fun stuff. Okay? Oh, also, I see you guys all in the students edit Cyber Patriots 1718. Pass fail, thank you, Diane, is a class, but it like doesn't change your GPA at all. So like if you don't want your GPA to be lowered because you are taking so many honors and just can't, talk to Miss Wood and or your counselor and you can get it pass fail. Okay? All right. So questions, team. You can throw them into this chat. You can throw them into that doc, whatever floats your boat. You've got to have questions at this point. No one? Oh, thank you, Isaac. What is the food situation? I'm assuming you mean at competitions? Yes, no, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, for competitions, do we want to have people bring the food and just have the sign up sheet?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
should we just
What we were planning on doing is having, so your guys' parents are probably going to sign up to bring food at a couple competitions, and then also all this water, which we're going to try and sell at Club Day and throughout the year, is going to be used to buy us snacks and candy and food during competitions. Yeah, Chris, we sell water at Club Day, and then Miss Wood will sell it throughout the year in her room. So that's how we make a lot of our money. Just bottled water, dude. Okay, there are 31 of you in here. Everyone, doesn't matter how dumb your question is, or how dumb you think your question is, or how complicated you think your question is, everyone send me a question, please. Send it in the chat, put it in the doc, send it to me individually. I want 31 questions, okay? Chris, wouldn't we make more money selling sugary drinks? Actually, no, we sold Gatorade, and thanks, Linus, it's 7:10. We sold Gatorade, and it didn't actually make us as much money as water did. Isn't soda a good idea? Yeah, but Yearbook sells soda, Delvin.
Water is just a really convenient thing for Cyber Patriots to sell since Mrs. Wood already sells it in her class. And trying to reach out to different areas and sell different kinds of foods or drinks is just going to put a strain on us financially. And selling water is just a really good way to do so. So yeah, water.
Yeah, and then Morgan, yes, every team needs to bring in 2 cases of water by Friday. Okay? On that note, if you guys don't have teams, that's not a super big issue, but you guys want to find teams. So if you don't have teams, please reach out to Mrs. Wood and find a team or find friends to recruit. And Saeed, we have about 5 competitions. So we do them all in M1 or M2 or M3, and they're all 6 hours long. Yeah, and I'd love to talk about what we did in the sneak peek. Let me, how do we give you the information to fill out the spreadsheet? Andrew, there's a thing in the doc, and you should be able to edit it for the class. What do you mean for the class periods? No, Andrew, I don't really understand your question. Sorry. I think you just fill in whatever periods you're in. Does that kind of help? I don't know. For what classes? Oh, Zaid. Sorry, Zaid. Yeah, thank you, Isaac. We also have a practice round. And then Arin, as far as the sneak peek, it was really not much more difficult than the training rounds we've been doing. So I was actually kind of surprised. And club day is Friday. We have a club rush week day tomorrow. And Daniel, I'm president for next year, or I guess I'm president this year. Next year has yet to be decided. Yeah, I think that's about it. So do you guys have any, let's see, any other questions, comments, concerns about Cyber Patriots? So pass-fail isn't going to affect your GPA. Basically, you're going to pass if you show up enough, and that's not going to factor in. It's not going to lower or raise your GPA. How do you make progress in rounds? Excellent question. So like what we've been doing in the training rounds, basically anytime you get points, you're going to be scored, right? And then if you get a high enough score in the first 2 or 3 rounds, then you're going to be put into a division. So you're going to be either platinum, gold, or silver. And from there, you're going to go in different rounds of different difficulties to try and get as far as you can. And then if you are in the platinum round and get through enough regional rounds and stuff, you can actually make it to nationals, and they'll fly you out to DC, I believe. And then you get to compete at the national level in Cyber Patriots, which is super cool.
It's in Baltimore, Maryland this year.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Isaac. Chris, have we ever reached that before? No, our club is 3 years old, so we have not reached that yet, but we're hoping to get there this year. Or I guess this is our 3rd year. However, last year, one of our gold teams actually got to be very high up in our region. I believe either 3rd or 4th, and Diane or Arin or someone can correct me. I don't remember which. And Rachel, we are getting jackets again this year. We're going to get the same jackets because everyone really likes them, and that will be going out pretty soon. And Melina, I believe it is pass-fail versus taking it for grade, not pass-fail versus taking it as a class. Thanks, Donna. Yeah, so jackets will probably, I can't speak in exacts, but they're probably going to be around $30. That's what they were last year, and we'll get an order form out for you guys pretty soon.
The more you guys order, the cheaper it'll be. So please buy like 500 for yourself if it works out.
That's very true. Thanks, Isaac. Oh, Cisco. Yeah, perfect. So Cisco is the Cisco networking challenges are like this second set of challenges in addition to, I agree, Mel, in addition to the rounds that we've been playing. And basically they're about like networking and computer routing and switching and stuff. And it's going to be a quiz. So you're going to get 10 or 15 questions. And then you're also going to get a packet tracer, which means you're going to be given an imaginary network and you have to create it and route it and set it up and stuff.
Yeah, for Cisco, there's a lot of resources online in order for you to be able to better handle problems like that, whether it's a packet tracer or the quiz. Specifically, you can make a Neticat account, and that'll help you out a lot.
Yeah. And yeah, Melina, you really learn to Google when you do Cisco. Okay, Zaid, if we show up. So if we show up to Cyber Patriots enough, we get credit for the class if we're taking it. Yeah, so basically your grade in Cyber Patriots is going to be based upon you showing up to these GoToMeetings and to class once a week. And then also there'll be like really, like rarely we'll get assignments and stuff. Okay? So what types of things should we be expected to know during rounds? That's a great question. We'll teach you as much as we can, we meaning me and Isaac and our teams and all the older members. But you should know kind of about passwords and about security policies and how to find hacking files and just other stuff that sounds common to me, which I probably realize doesn't sound that common to you guys, but we'll teach you as you go. Can I talk about different types and versions of operating systems? Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks, Ashley. So the first type that I think most of us are familiar with, or at least most of us PC users, is Windows 10. So Windows 10 is probably going to show up sometime this year. And it's, yeah, fairly standard. It's what most PCs run on. It's what almost all the school computers run on, all that fun stuff. The second Windows operating system that we're going to work probably on is Windows Server 2008, which, yeah, Rin, we definitely can. Server 2008 looks like it's from like the 90s. It's really old looking and laggy and kind of gross. But basically it differs from Windows 10 because now you are in the position of the server, so that comes with different roles and responsibilities. And then we have Linux, which is Isaac's favorite, and Debian, which is a type of Linux. And then we usually do Ubuntu, but we also can do Debian, and that's the terminal window. Linux is open source, which is super cool. And yes, Erin, easy to get locked out. I know many people have done it. I don't think we're going to do Linux Mint. And yes, there probably will be Debian this year. Yeah, so Linux is a lot of terminal window, and a lot of people like it. I don't really, but I know a lot of people who do. So,
Chris,
yeah.
for Windows 2008 is not talking about SQL, so you don't need to worry about that. And Oracle is not anything we do either.
Yeah. Thanks, Isaac. Are we going to go over STIGs more too? Probably. We're probably going to spend some time just going through how to like categorizing STIGs and making them readable and stuff, because I know that was a big issue last year. But yeah, Mr. Bush, I think, is probably going to go through STIGs more with us this year than we did last year too. If that helps at all. What are STIGs? Excellent question. So STIGs are these, like, there's an acronym, and I know someone who's not me probably knows it. But they're basically like these long lists of cybersecurity vulnerabilities in computers. And so it'll tell you like the common vulnerability, and then it'll say how to solve it. Thank you, Daniel. You rock. Yeah, so yes, Sean, we were working with computers. So basically these STIGs are problems that you see normally on computers, and then the answers. So they're super helpful. They're above Cyber Patriot level because the government uses them a lot. But yeah, we're going to use them too. And thanks, Mel, for all the lists. So any other questions? So yes, so Chris, you're gonna go onto the students edit CP 1718 and find the boxes by your name and edit them. Yeah, and then if you're not in the Google Drive, put your email in right now. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, put your email in right now, because that's how a lot of our how we share a lot of our files. On that note, I think we kind of made an executive decision. We're gonna be using Remind this year to talk to you all. So most of you have that for band or for Red Cross or just for other clubs in general, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. But more info to go out about that probably in the next week or so. Okay? So questions, questions, comments, concerns? Am I missing anything, Isaac, or anyone else who I'm not thinking of? What time does the first practice round start? That is an excellent question, which I will look up right now because I'm not sure. I think we're gonna do it on a Friday, which means it'll start around noon. But as far as the date, I don't actually remember. So let me look.
The first practice round is October 13th, so it's coming up really quick.
Oh,
We
awesome.
should get excused pretty early. I know we used to be excused from fourth period every time we had a round, but I think Miss Wood is going to scale it back to just sixth period for this time. But I think all the other rounds should be fourth period excused.
Yeah. Thank you, Isaac.
Maya, I have a question that might
Yeah,
interest everyone here.
of course.
What are the repercussions of missing your training days or the meetings?
Oh, excellent question. So Mrs. Wood is taking attendance at all of these things. So she's taking tardies and whether or not you're here and whether or not you're doing homework. And Mr. Bush is doing the same. And for all of you guys for coming, your names are written down and all that fun stuff. So all of that is part of your grade. So basically, if you're not coming to these things, your grade's dropping and dropping and dropping. So that's kind of going to be what is going to be the repercussions, is that your grade's going to drop and you could not end up with the grade that you would like at the end of the semester. Donna, what would be homework? It probably would be like watching videos or like Erin was talking about STIGs earlier, maybe editing STIGs, that sort of thing, just smaller assignments to prepare for practices, as well as whatever Mrs. Wood wants to throw in.
We also have one annual one at least. We probably have more this year, but we do have a competition for the team that can make the best virtual machine to play around with.
Oh, right. Yeah, thank you.
Last year, I forget who won, but only one person made it.
I think it was
so they
Matt
got,
Crane.
I think it was, yeah. So then they just got a $25 gift card, and this doesn't count as homework, but it's something to have fun with and to just experience and know for yourself.
Yeah, and that also helps you in actual Cyber Patriot rounds because you know exactly what is being scored on the other end when you create your own. So, any more questions, comments, or concerns? Did everyone fill out that spreadsheet? Why do we need to fill the sheet? Good question. This sheet's really important because you guys all should have gotten those cool half sheets today, and those are sometimes going to be the way that Mrs. Wood, or I, or Isaac, or whoever needs to talk to all of us is going to talk to all of us. And for those, it's really important that we have your guys' classes. And also during competitions, if you need to get out of class, we need to know what classes you're in. Zaid, it would be super cool if you fill it out now, but as long as you fill it out pretty soon, let's say before Friday, I think you should be okay. Yeah, thanks, Miss Wood.
Maya, I have a question.
What's up?
Okay, so you know the thing that we had to do at the beginning of last year where we went online and like updated a profile? Is that still happening?
Updated a profile. Oh,
it's like
yeah,
you had
yeah,
to go on like the official website and yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that is still happening. I believe that's going to happen after we've all registered, if it hasn't happened already. I'm not entirely
cool.
sure, but I know that is important.
Right. Because I know that happens like at the beginning of the year, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, maybe I can answer that question, Maya. I'm sorry. All of the teams, once they are registered, they will receive an email in their ETUSD email. It'll probably go to their spam, and I will remind everyone to check their spam in order to get that. And then once you do, you're going to need to register with the US Cyber Patriots so we can have our teams be official. And that needs to happen before next Friday, so I will make sure that everyone is registered on a team by then. Okay?
Thanks, Miss Wood.
Okay, I'm going back to school night. Bye.
Okay.
Speaking of information, we can fit more people in, just barely though, and we'll probably be taking signups during club day. So if you guys have any friends or if you know anyone who wants to sign up, tell them to come to our booth on club day or tomorrow or whenever. Just stop by Mrs. Wood's class. Tomorrow would work, yeah. And pick up a sheet about the commitment and all the other stuff and turn it in by Friday, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. This week is getting day to join teams and stuff. Okay, so it's 7:30. So does anyone have any more questions, comments, concerns, all that sort of fun stuff, or no? Yes, no, maybe. No, cool. Okay, so if none of you guys have questions, thank you very much for coming out to this thing. I guess coming out would be kind of a weird phrase, but whatever. Thank you for listening to us, hearing all this intro stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to just text me, but thanks and have a good night.
Oh wait, one more thing. If you I'm
Oh.
gonna send a list of the attendants right now. If you guys don't see your name, please let us know. Also, if there is a nickname or no last name, please clarify because I do not know who upgraded Mark or Jess in all caps are.